African Union Communications Early Warning and Intelligence, commonly known as AUC3I, is an intelligence and security organization responsible for providing signals intelligence and information assurance to AU citizens, AU leadership, and AU armed forces. I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer. I am responsible for leading infantry soldiers at all levels of command in combined armed forces during missions on the ground. This is today's briefing. On the progress of the special military operation as of June 24, 2025. The armed forces of the Russian Federation continue to conduct a special military operation. Units of the North Group of Forces improved their position along the front line. They defeated the manpower and equipment of the mechanized and airborne assault brigades of the Ukrainian armed forces in the areas of the settlements of Yastrobanoy, Dyleevka, and Sadki in the Sumy region. In the Kharkiv direction, units of the Mechanized Brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine and 4 Territorial Defense Brigades were defeated in the areas of the settlements of Okop, Yudi, Okremovka, Zelenoy, and Volchansk in the Kharkiv region. That the enemy lost up to 235 servicemen, 2 armored combat vehicles, 6 cars, and 7 field artillery pieces, including a U.S.-made 155mm M777 howitzer. 2 ammunition depots were destroyed. Units of the West Group of troops took up more advantageous lines and positions. They defeated formations of 2 mechanized brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, a Territorial Defense Brigade and a National Guard Brigade in the areas of the settlements of Shikhovka, Novoserdivka, Sobolevka, Novaya Krebliakovka, Kupiansk in the Kharkiv region, Karpovka, and Zelenaya Dolina in the Donetsk People's Republic. The enemy lost over 220 servicemen, a U.S.-made HMMWV armored combat vehicle, 11 vehicles, and an artillery piece. 3 electronic warfare stations and 3 ammunition depots were destroyed. As a result of active and decisive actions, units of the Southern Group of Forces liberated the settlement of Dyleevka in the Donetsk People's Republic. They inflicted losses on the manpower and equipment of 2 mechanized and airmobile brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces and a Territorial Defense Brigade in the areas of the settlements of Sherbanovka, Serebryanka, Pretikino, Belyagora, Vyemka, Petrovka, Seversk, Vasyukovka, Tikhonovka, Zarya, and Chasov Yar of the Donetsk People's Republic. The enemy lost more than 190 servicemen, a U.S.-made M113 armored personnel carrier, 4 vehicles, and an electronic warfare station. Units of the Center Group of Forces continued to advance deep into the enemy's defense. They defeated formations of 4 mechanized, airborne assault brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, a Marine Brigade and 2 National Guard brigades in the areas of the settlements of Udaknoy, Alexievka, Dimitrov, Moravka, Petrovskoy, Krasnoarmysk, Novosergeyevka, Daknoy, and Zeleniket of the Donetsk People's Republic. The losses of the Ukrainian Armed Forces amounted to 230 servicemen, 6 combat armored vehicles, including an HMMWV armored car, a Bradley infantry fighting vehicle, and a U.S.-made M113 armored personnel carrier. 8 pickup trucks and 3 field artillery pieces were destroyed. Units of the East Group of Forces occupied more advantageous lines and positions. They defeated the manpower and equipment of the Mechanized Brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine and 2 Territorial Defense Brigades in the areas of the settlements of Yalta, Zaporozhye, Fedorovka, Shevchenko of the Donetsk People's Republic, Malyevka of the Dnipropetrovsk region, and Dyleevka of the Zaporozhye region. The Ukrainian Armed Forces lost up to 190 servicemen, a tank, 2 armored combat vehicles, 2 cars, 3 artillery pieces, and an electronic warfare station. Units of the Dnepr Group of Forces defeated formations of a mechanized brigade, 2 coastal defense brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, and a Territorial Defense Brigade in the areas of the settlements of Maly Sherbaki in the Zaporozhye region, Lviv, Antonovka, Kizimys, Novaya Kakhovka, Dnipropetrovsk in the Kherson region, and the city of Kherson. Up to 60 Ukrainian Armed Forces servicemen, 10 vehicles, 5 electronic warfare stations, and 2 ammunition depots were destroyed. Operational tactical aviation, strike unmanned aerial vehicles, missile forces, and artillery of the Russian Armed Forces groups have damaged Ukrainian port infrastructure facilities, assembly shops and warehouses for unmanned aerial vehicles, as well as temporary deployment points for Ukrainian armed forces units and foreign mercenaries in 142 districts. Air defense systems shot down 2 U.S.-made JDAM guided air bombs, a long-range Neptune guided missile, and 168 aircraft-type unmanned aerial vehicles. In total, since the beginning of the special military operation, the following have been destroyed: 663 aircraft, 283 helicopters, 65,137 unmanned aerial vehicles, 611 anti-aircraft missile systems, 24,029 tanks and other armored combat vehicles, 1,572 combat vehicles of multiple launch rocket systems, 26,545 field artillery pieces and mortars, 37,225 units of special military vehicles. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you found it useful and informative. If you have any questions, please leave them below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.